China's economy is slowing down as it adjusts to a harsh zero-COVID strategy and declining global demand. Soon-to-be-released official growth numbers for the July-September quarter are anticipated. If they show a decline in the world's second-largest economy, the global recession will rise. Beijing's target of 5.5% annual growth is currently unattainable, even though officials have minimized the importance of achieving the goal. China nearly missed experiencing a contraction from April to June. Some economists predict no growth this year. The nation may not be experiencing extreme inflation like the US and UK. It still has additional issues, such as the fact that there are suddenly fewer domestic and foreign clients for its goods. Trade disputes between China and powerful economies like the US have hampered growth. And as it falls sharply against the US dollar, the yuan is on track to have its worst year in decades. Investor trepidation caused by a weak currency feeds uncertainty in the financial markets. Additionally, it makes it challenging for the central bank to inject cash into the economy. This occurs when President Xi Jinping's chances of winning a historic third term at the Communist Party Congress, which starts on October 16, are pretty high. So what specifically went wrong? Welcome back to another exciting video from Surgency. Today's video is about China's economy falling. Number 1. Zero COVID is wreaking havoc. COVID outbreaks have hampered economic activity across industries in several cities, including manufacturing areas like Shenzhen and Tianjin. Primary services are under pressure because people are also not spending money on items like food and drink, retail, or tourism. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, factory activity in the manufacturing sector looks to have increased again in September. The government's increased investment in infrastructure may be the source of the resurgence. However, it did so 2 months after there had been no growth in production, and it has sparked concerns, particularly in light of a private poll that revealed a decline in manufacturing activity in September due to the impact of demand on output, new orders, and employment. Due to increasing interest rates, inflation, and the crisis in Ukraine, demand has also decreased in nations like the US. According to experts, Beijing might stimulate the economy further, but there is little incentive to do so until zero COVID ends. According to Louis Kuitz, chief Asian economist at S&P Global Ratings, there is not much purpose in injecting money into our economy if businesses cannot develop or people cannot spend the money. Number 2. Beijing isn't doing enough. Beijing has intervened. In August, it unveiled a 1 trillion yuan, $203 billion, 180 billion pounds, plan to support startups, infrastructure, and real estate. But there is much more government officials may do to spur expenditure and achieve economic goals and employment growth. This involves increasing infrastructure spending, lowering borrowing requirements for home buyers, real estate investors, and local governments, and providing individual tax breaks. According to Mr. Kuitz, the government's response to the economic downturn has been rather limited compared to what we have seen during prior economic downturns. Number 3. China's property market is in a crisis. Undoubtedly, the housing sector's unfavorable attitude and weak real estate activity have hindered growth. Because up to a third of China's GDP is made up of industries that contribute to the economy, including real estate, this has significantly impacted its GDP. People become uncertain about the state of the economy as a whole when there is low confidence in the housing market, according to Mr. Kuitz. Home buyers have refused to pay their mortgages on partially constructed structures, and some aren't sure their homes will ever be finished. The demand for new dwellings has decreased the requirement to import building materials. Home prices have fallen by more than 20% this year, despite Beijing's efforts to support the real estate industry. Property developers are under pressure, analysts say. Therefore, government action to restore trust in the real estate market may need to go further. Number 4. Climate change is making matters worse. The effects of extreme weather are beginning to linger on China's businesses. In August, the central belt city of Chongqing and the southwest province of Sichuan were devastated by a severe heat wave followed by a drought. In a location where hydropower is nearly exclusively the only energy source, the demand for air conditioning increased and eventually overloaded the electrical grid. Factories, including well-known producers like Tesla and iPhone maker Foxconn, were compelled to reduce their hours or close. China's Statistics Bureau said in August that compared to the same period in 2021, profits in the iron and steel industry alone had decreased by more than 80%. Beijing ultimately came to the aid of farmers and energy businesses with tens of billions of yuan. Number 5. China's tech titans are losing investors. It is not assisting that China's digital giants have been the target of a 2-year-old regulatory campaign. In the most recent quarter, Tencent and Alibaba announced their first sales decline. Tencent's profits plummeted by 50%, while Alibaba's net income dropped by 50%. Tens of thousands of young workers have lost their jobs, adding to the unemployment rate among those between the ages of 16 and 24. Long-term, this might be detrimental to China's productivity and growth. Investors have also seen a change in Beijing. As Mr. successful on power titans, some of China's most prosperous private enterprises are now subject to more scrutiny. Foreign investors are pulling their money away from the market as state-owned businesses seem to be gaining popularity. While Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway is selling its investment in electric vehicle manufacturer BYD, Japan's SoftBank withdrew a sizable sum of money from Alibaba. Investments in Tencent have lost more than $7 billion just in the second half of this year. Additionally, the U.S. is taking strict measures against Chinese firms listed on its stock exchange. In a report, S&P Global Ratings recently stated that certain investment decisions are being postponed, and some foreign corporations are seeking to increase output in other countries. Beijing may no longer be as welcoming to foreign investors as it once was, but Mr. XI is endangering the prosperity that has propelled China in recent decades. That's all for today. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.